after beginning his term going after North Korea's Kim Jong-un, even taunting him with words like Rocket Man. The president made bold attempts at charting a new path with the isolated nation. But two failed summits and a dramatic meeting at the DMZ has yielded zero progress when it comes to denuclearization. Now a new UN report is reportedly revealing that North Korea has probably developed the capability to put nuclear devices on ballistic missiles. Joining us now is former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State and ABC News contributor Stephen Ganyard. Steve, if this report is accurate, what does it mean potentially in terms of our ability to contain North Korea?
It means that we've failed. And when I say we, I say every president for the last 20, almost 30 years. You know, Mr. Trump tried one approach. It has failed. The presidents before him, both Democratic and Republican, have tried more consistent approaches, and they have failed. We've known that the progress on the North Korean nuclear regime has continued, and now that we have this UN report, we have almost independent verification that we believe that they've miniaturized, in other words, taken a nuclear weapon and made it small enough that it can go on a rocket that theoretically could reach the east coast of the United States. And so the answer to your question is we have failed, and the world is a much more dangerous place.
And talk to us for a minute about actually being able to put miniature nuclear weapons on a ballistic missile. What does that mean in terms of where they may now be able to potentially strike?
Yeah, for any country to be able to have the capability to have nuclear weapons and to threaten other countries with nuclear weapons, they have to have several things. One, they have to have the rocket, so you have to have a rocket that can go a long way. Then you have to be able to take that nuclear weapon and make it small enough and light enough so that that rocket can travel far distances. We've seen the first two out of the North Koreans. What we haven't seen out of the North Koreans is the ability to survive re-entry. So the heat that's caused on re-entry, we saw the Dragon SpaceX capsule come down just a couple days ago. It's the same idea. When it re-enters the atmosphere, it gets very hot, and it's very, very difficult to have the metallurgy and the capability to survive re-entry. The fourth thing that the North Koreans have yet to demonstrate is the ability to target, to put that nuclear weapon somewhere in the area, the vicinity that they wanted to land. So we've seen the first two, and those are probably the most disconcerting because they can continue to threaten us. We have to accept their bluff. If it's a bluff, if they say we've got nuclear weapons and we can put them into South Korea or we can put them into San Francisco or Chicago, we have to accept that on face value because we have seen that miniaturized warhead, and we have seen the performance of the rockets theoretically able to reach the east coast of the United States.
Let me ask you this. Do you think it's a bluff?
I think there are parts of it that are a bluff. I don't think that they have the ability to do reentry, and I don't think they have the ability to target. But, you know, in horseshoes and hand grenades, close counts.
Right.
And so in this sense, it's something that we have to take seriously. Mr. Kim is using this to defend the regime. So we say always, what is the intent of the Kim regime? And that is survival. And so they believe that having a nuclear weapon will prevent any kind of an invasion from South Korea, any kind of pressure from the United States, and it will ensure the continuity of the regime because that is foremost on their agenda.
Now, North Korea has not conducted a nuclear test since 2017, but just last week, Kim Jong-un said there would be no more war because the country's nuclear weapons guarantee its safety. How could they make advancements on their program in spite of the sanctions that we have in place?
Yeah, you know, up until a couple of years ago, there were African nations that were more sanctioned than North Korea. The sanctions on North Korea are not that hard. And then you have countries like China that regularly trade and bust the sanctions. So Chinese ships are constantly trading coal and goods and shipping oil into North Korea. So the sanctions are so porous that they really, all they do is make life difficult for the North Koreans, but it really doesn't stop them from their weapons program. Remember that the other intent of their weapons program is to make money. They work very close with the Iranians, and they export their capabilities. We don't know yet, but we assume that they're exporting nuclear capabilities and rocket technologies to Iran, and they get cold, hard cash for that. And so that's what they're doing. They're out on the black illicit market around the world selling these things, but the sanctions that are designed to stop that or prevent that are as loose as a sieve.
Loose as a sieve. Okay, thank you so much, Steve Ganyard. Always appreciate your insight. Thanks so much.
Sure, thanks.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.